Today was the preliminary hearing for a woman charged with murder after two pedestrians were hit on a Whitley County road.
A Central Kentucky man accused of being involved in a sophisticated gambling ring out of California. And Kentucky Children's Hospital hoping to inspire patients and their families with a special UK-themed hallway.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon. Sam Dick and Amber Philpott reporting. The case of a deadly hit-and-run crash is moving forward as we learn some new details after a detective testified in court today.
Police say Sonia Askins was under the influence during the crash on Highway 895 in Whitley County last week. That crash killed Teresa Ward Bennett and injured her husband while they were out for a walk. WKYT's Victor Puente has more now in our top story at 4:30.
Sonia Askins didn't say a word during her preliminary hearing this afternoon, but there was a lot of talk as prosecutors and her attorneys questioned a Kentucky State Police detective about the night Teresa Ward Bennett was killed. Last Monday, Bennett and her husband, Joshua Bennett, were walking on Kentucky 859 when they were struck by a car. The impact killed Teresa and sent Josh to the hospital. Kentucky State Police say Sonia Askins was the driver responsible for hitting the two. She's facing multiple charges, including murder and assault. At her preliminary hearing, a state police detective testified that she admitted to drinking moonshine and taking oxycodone the day of the crash and morphine the night before. He also said that she was visibly intoxicated with a bloodshot eye. He said Askins lost her left eye in a crash on the same road more than a year ago. He said there was a witness who was driving behind Askins and saw the crash, but at first didn't realize she had hit people.
She wrote on her statement that Sonia crossed over the center line and also collided with those people. And I believe at the very beginning she didn't even know they was people until she got up on there. She just seen an object flop in there.
The judge decided there was enough evidence to send this case on to a grand jury who will decide if Askins will be indicted for murder. In Whitley County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
According to her arrest citation, Askins' boyfriend is the one who convinced her to turn around and return to the scene. A Richmond man is facing federal gambling charges out of San Diego.
An indictment alleges that Jason Taylor was a bookie for an illegal gambling ring operating out of a San Diego casino. Kristen Kennedy is at the live desk with the details. Kristen?
Sam, Jason Taylor is one of 12 listed on this indictment. 14 in all are facing gambling charges linked to an international gambling ring based out of San Diego, California. Taylor lives in Richmond. He's a licensed realtor with DeSluver Coldwell Banker Realty in Richmond. Agents there told us while he is licensed, he is not active. The realtor is accused of taking bets from high-stakes bettors as a bookie who went by the nickname Kentucky. The indictment states the illegal gambling operation called Seagal's Lucky Lady Sportsbook was based out of a lawful, regulated gambling facility called the Lucky Lady Casino and Card Room in San Diego. The Department of Justice says the FBI began investigating the organization in 2014. They used wiretaps and undercover agents to collect evidence. Taylor was booked in jail in Lexington last Wednesday. He was released Thursday. He's expected to appear in court in San Diego tomorrow. At the live desk, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Kristen, thank you. And the U.S. Department of Justice says that 5 of the 14 defendants are still on the run. After all the rain we've had the past few days, including really all summer, we're getting a little bit of a break this afternoon.
But we have to ask how long before that rain returns. We want to check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Oh, let's not spoil the good vibe we've got going on out there right now by answering that, because it's not going to take too long to get some more scattered thunderstorms over the next few days. Defender Radar Network, a far cry from yesterday at this time, and still isolated showers that are going up into parts of the area. Southeastern Kentucky, we've had a little better coverage here. Mountain Parkway, very isolated in nature, likewise along Interstate 64. Across the Lexington area, one lone little teeny shower on top of the Kentucky River. That's not too far away from I-75. That is my view of that little shower popping up into northern Madison, southern Fayette County, right on the river. And again, we're looking toward the south on our WKYT live sky cam. Bounce it out a little bit. All right, let's bounce it out a lot. Show you some clouds to our northwest. And sometimes you can get these little boundaries to fire up. They act as mini cold fronts, so you can get some additional thunderstorms. We'll keep a close eye on that little complex of storms in the southeastern parts of Illinois. But overall, if you're out this evening, it is very isolated in terms of the shower and thunderstorm threat, but it remains muggy right on through 11 o'clock this evening. Straight ahead, I've got more storms as we roll our way through the rest of this week. Guys, 7-day forecast comes your way in a matter of minutes.
All right, we'll see you then, Chris. Thank you. A crash slowed down the morning commute today on a busy central Kentucky road. Nicholasville police say a truck headed northbound on US 27 ran a red light and hit a car turning left onto Industry Parkway. 2 people went to UK hospital, one of them with serious injuries.
Some former UK athletes will be bringing smiles to patients at Kentucky Children's Hospital. UK football coach Mark Stoops helped officials unveil the Hall of Champions today. The hall leads to the acute care patient rooms featuring images of athletes and coaches along with their biographies. The goal is to provide inspiration to the children during their hospital stay.
I just hope it helps them in any small way. Like I said, if they're in here, they're going through some trying times for them and their family. And if they could walk by and get a little bit of inspiration from a mural or from just aesthetically what the hospital looks like and the comfort level of the hospital, that's what we're here for, to help in any small way we can.
Coach Stoops is featured in the hall along with NFL wide receiver Randall Cobb of the Packers, UK men's basketball star Jamal Mashburn, and UK Hall of Fame gymnast and NCAA champion Jenny Hansen.
Actress Shannon Doherty is sharing some devastating news about her battle with breast cancer. We'll have an update on her condition coming up here at 4:30.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
A little steamy out there today, but of course when you put 3 or 4 inches of water in the ground and one day you're going to get a lot of humidity in the air the following day, especially when the sun comes out. It's out there now for many of us, and with so much moisture around, any day now is going to feature afternoon cloud cover going up. It doesn't matter if it's a day that features a northerly wind, that's a dry day. When you have so much water in the ground, sun comes up, we start to evaporate a little bit of that moisture and you can get some clouds, which also then acts to keep temperatures down a little bit. 86 right now, Lexington, northwesterly wind, though it feels like 91 because of all the humidity that is out there across central and eastern Kentucky. Low 80s, southeastern corner of the state, where we've had more in the way of some cloud cover than our neighbors to the north, where we're getting in on a few peaks of sun. Here's the setup this afternoon heading into the early part of the evening. It is very, at least the risk for any shower thunderstorm, very low right now. Got a little bit of stuff from time to time trying to go up, like right on top of the Mountain Parkway here between Clay City and Stanton. One lone little shower that will continue to drop its way on in from north to south, and isolated stuff will go up across the Bluegrass region as we go through the evening. Got something outdoors? It's a decent evening overall for many of us. We're going to watch, though, that northwesterly flow. And I'll tell you, the setup late tomorrow into Thursday can become another flash flood producer somewhere across Kentucky. Does that include central and eastern parts of the state? We're going to see likely a complex of storms that will go up late tomorrow into parts of Missouri and Illinois that would then slowly work its way across the region, almost a little mini area of low pressure. That's something that happened to us yesterday. It's something that's going to try to repeat Wednesday night and into Thursday as well. So as we get a little closer, we'll fine-tune that. But yeah, over the next 3 days, how many times have I said this over the past week? I will be surprised again if we don't have some additional flash flooding at some point over the next 3 days. Here's hoping it isn't where you live. We don't want it. We don't wish it upon anyone, but boy, some areas have been really hard hit over the past several days. Clusters of thunderstorms are going to continue to take aim at not only Kentucky but the Ohio Valley. As we go through the next several days, we'll get a cold front in here. It'll put the brakes on, and then that will be the focusing mechanism, especially Friday into the weekend. First part of the weekend, especially to get some more in the way of those scattered showers and thunderstorms. So a storm or two around tomorrow, upper 80s both Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday may have to knock that down and bump up storm chances. We're going to watch a little area of low pressure. It's small. Computer models are not going to pick up on it very well, but it may dump a tremendous amount of rain somewhere in Kentucky on Thursday. Hope it's not in the central or eastern parts of the state. We go into Friday, still the threat for some thunderstorms as a cold front gets in here, tries to put the brakes on this weekend. If that is the case, that'll at least give us another round or two of some storms out there. What an incredible pattern this is.
It is, and some folks really needed a dry day today to get out there and start to try to clean up a little bit in places.
The bad part about this pattern is it's in a repeat mode. All right, so the next 2 or 3 weeks, it is pretty much locked into place, at least for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
So yeah, again, next 4 or 5 days, if we don't get some more flash flooding, I'll be surprised. I'll say that again going into next week too.
All right, Chris, thank you.
It's called Boys vs. Girls, a musical review put on by the Winchester Players. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about in Winchester today.
Don't miss out on an opportunity to see a group of children in a production called Boys vs. Girls.
Our Deanne Stevens is out and about in Winchester with a preview. Hey, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We're here at Campbell Junior High where we've got a fabulous crew waiting to perform for you. What's your name?
Kaylee.
Kaylee, tell me about Boys vs. Girls. What have you guys been working so hard on?
We've been working on like movements for all the music, and so we've been working on that.
Yeah, my goodness, it takes a lot of work, doesn't it? What's your name?
My name is Skylin.
Skylin, what do you have to do to put a fabulous show like this together?
You have to smile and pay attention and run through your lines.
And practice, 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 right?
Yes.
Okay, Kelly is with us. She is the director here with Winchester Players. I love what you guys are doing. All these kiddos, they all seem very excited for their performance. We just had a performance of Bonnie and Clyde, which opens up on Thursday. But tell us about Boys vs. Girls.
Boys vs. Girls is a musical review. We've taken songs from different shows, put them together, and we've got about 36 kids between the ages of 5 and 16 performing all of it.
And so what are we about to see now?
We're about to see Anything Goes. This is our last number. The boys and girls are finally coming together at the end to join in and sing together.
Take it away, kiddos.
Try to stand instead of landing on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock would land on them. Yeah!
Fantastic job. You guys can check out Boys vs. Girls show. Time starts August 26th through 28th. Don't forget, Winchester Players putting this on. Bonnie and Clyde kicking off here on Thursday at Campbell Junior High School. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Weren't they fabulous? Give yourselves a hand.
They sounded good.
A lot of upcoming talent right there.
Yes, a lot of excitement. A rehab center named for Amy Winehouse is planned in London, and Kevin Spacey is feline fine.
And an Oscar-winning actor becomes the Joker on the big screen. Don Champion has your eye on entertainment.
Comic book fans were on hand in New York City as Will Smith joined co-stars Jared Leto and Margot Robbie for the world premiere of their new movie Suicide Squad, which takes place in the same universe as Batman.
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
They play some of the world's most dangerous supervillains brought together by the government. Leto, an Oscar winner, takes on the iconic role of the Joker. Robbie plays his love interest, Harley Quinn.
It's a love-hate relationship, very dysfunctional. He constantly tries to kill her.
Suicide Squad opens Friday. In Hollywood, the stars of the movie 9 Lives walked the red carpet.
Look, I make million-dollar decisions for lunch. I'm pretty sure I can pick out a cat.
Kevin Spacey stars as a businessman who takes his family for granted until one day he magically turns into a cat. Jennifer Garner plays his wife.
The most funny part of the movie was watching the trainers getting the cats to do what they were supposed to do.
9 Lives also opens Friday.
They tried to make me go to rehab.
And 5 years after Amy Winehouse's death from alcohol poisoning, a foundation set up in the singer's name is opening a rehab home. The women-only recovery house called Amy's Place will provide rehab services in East London. That's your Eye on Entertainment, Don Champion, CBS News.
Actress Shannon Doherty is opening up about her battle with breast cancer, revealing that the disease has spread. In a sit-down interview with Entertainment Tonight, the Beverly Hills 90210 alum revealed that the cancer has spread to her lymph nodes and some cancer cells may have spread further into her body. Because of that, she is undergoing more chemotherapy followed by radiation. Doherty also says she had a single mastectomy in May. She was diagnosed with breast cancer in February. So far, she's undergone 3 in a series of 8 rounds of chemotherapy. Last month, Doherty posted photos of her shaved head on Instagram. Actor Channing Tatum is going under the sea. He is set to star in a Disney remake of Splash, the 1984 romantic comedy about a man who falls in love with a mermaid. Original director Ron Howard and his producing partner Brian Grazer have signed on to reboot the classic, but with a twist. In this version, Tatum will play the Daryl Hannah role of the mermaid or merman, while Jillian Bell takes on the role of the love-struck human, originally played by Tom Hanks. A script is reportedly in the works, but there's no word on when filming will start.
A picture of Donald Trump tweeting of himself eating Kentucky Fried Chicken is getting a lot of attention. We'll tell you why coming up. Should we turn off the faucet now for a while?
I hope so.
Get a break here?
But if you listen to Chris Bailey, which we do, he says that faucet may come back on soon.
Yeah, you know what? More of a sprinkler. How about that? Because it targets certain areas over the next few days with very heavy rains, kind of misses a few spots, then targets another area with some heavy rains. That's where we've been. It's where we're going to go. So let's enjoy what is out there now. A lot of mid-80s, low and mid-80s showing up across central and eastern Kentucky. Mix of sun and some clouds out there. Overall, no real complaints outside of it being awfully humid. But you put this much water in the ground, a little sunshine is going to really make things on the muggy side out there. Looks better on your Defender radar network. We're watching the northern skyline for any shower thunderstorm action. Southeastern Kentucky have had a little better coverage here. Got one little isolated shower south of Stanton. That's heading into parts of Estill County over the next little bit. Let's get a check on traffic, see how things are moving along out there. Here's Officer Don.
Well, we're dealing with some problems this afternoon, Chris, including an issue on the interstate. I-64 westbound at the 86-mile marker is shut down right now because of an injury collision just as you get from the Fayette-Clark County line now. That may be open soon, but for now they're still dealing with that mess on the interstate. A couple of crashes downtown. One is at South Broadway and 3rd Street. There's another collision, New Circle at Old Paris Pike. That's a non-injury for outbound traffic. To Versailles, about 12 minutes. To Richmond, about 23. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. A horse rescue, a presidential candidate with KFC, and a new zoo baby. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
A dire rescue situation in Colorado had a happy ending thanks to teamwork, dedication, and compassion. A 13-year-old horse named Cupcake was rescued after spending hours stuck knee-deep in muddy water, collapsed from exhaustion. Fire and rescue officials' cameras recording as they administered IV fluids and vitamins to the ailing horse. Finally, they got her to stand up. Cupcake was eventually taken to her vet, where she's staying for a few days and is expected to make a full recovery.
Madame Tussauds in Washington, D.C. is ready for the announcement of the new president. The Wax Museum has released the first images of clay head molds of the Republican and Democratic presidential nominees, which are being constructed in London. This is the first time that both presidential candidates have been created by the Wax Museum. Museum representatives say they got a jump start this year since both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump have both been immortalized in wax before. They say one of the trickiest things is perfecting Donald Trump's famous hairstyle, as artists lay each hair individually.
Well done. Politicians sometimes use meal choices on the campaign trail to try to connect with voters, but sometimes their attempts can backfire. Yesterday, when Donald Trump tweeted this picture of him eating Kentucky Fried Chicken with a fork on his private jet, it was one of those times, perhaps. Twitter users mocked the Republican presidential candidate about using silverware instead of his hands. Be relatable, appeal to common voters, mocked one Twitter user. This isn't the first time for Trump. This past Cinco de Mayo, Trump tweeted a picture of himself eating a taco bowl, proclaiming, "I love Hispanics." Some called the tweet insensitive.
The Milwaukee Zoo is celebrating a new addition. Zoo officials say a female baby elk was born, making it the first baby elk to be housed at the zoo in more than 20 years. The little calf hasn't been named yet, but she is the first surviving calf for her 6-year-old mother and 17-year-old father. Zookeepers say the bond between the baby and her mother is strong, and the baby is already fitting in with the herd. Zoo officials say they hope to have a name for her very soon. Hope so.
That's what they look like, little elk.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's what's coming up next for you. Stay with us on WKYT now at 5 o'clock.